Okay, as you can see, we are here at St. Louis Escape. So much is going on. We're going to give you a peek of our alien escape. From the first time we showed it to you, we've gotten a little further along. I wouldn't say a ton further, but it's going in the right direction. And we're getting excited about it, but it's one of these things where even though we have drawings and everything else, we're making decisions on the fly, okay? Because that's just what we do. And I think when you're building an escape room, you kind of have to just like, as you're building it, let the escape room kind of like guide you as to what the next step should be. I even think that we have a script for it, for puzzles. That's all out the window, really, when you think about it, because you start to like install these and you start to realize, maybe we should change something. You know, it is what it is. So, with all that being said, we are trying to walk and chew gum around here. We are trying to ship next week a mini golf. We're trying to get another mini golf started. Starting next week, we are going to try to build a mini golf and a laser tag at the same time. So we are going to get off the Creepy World project. We're going to get over here and we're going to try to get this laser tag done simultaneous to building somebody's laser retro mini golf, and then also go install a mini golf. So it's just so much to do. So what do we have going on? We have 2 mini golfs to build. We have a laser tag to build. Creepy World new haunt to build and update all of Creepy World. We're building a selfie museum over there. We are also building an alien escape right here. Plus, I am working with architects to expand the St. Louis Escape building and cover in 1,800 square feet in the back. And for those people who haven't seen the video before, I'll show it to you again, and we'll talk about it, and we'll go take a look at the alien escape. But since we're talking about escape rooms, I wanted to talk about themes for our escape rooms. How do you pick themes for escape rooms? You know, I've talked to a lot of different people, and they have a lot of different opinions. You know, they'll say, don't do horror themes. They'll say, do horror themes, but only do one. You know, diversify. You know, do a little of this and a little of that. Well, I can tell you, and I can tell you especially from the people that make comments that, you know, that I don't like horror. I can tell you this, I don't really watch horror movies anymore. But that's just being honest. I think most horror movies now are bad. But what if they make a new Conjuring, something like that, you know, I'm going to go see it. If I hear about a horror movie that I heard is really, really good, I'll see it. I saw the new Michael Myers movies. I thought they sucked, except for the first one. I saw the new Exorcist movie. It was absolutely trash. And that's what I'm talking about. Most horror movies just suck. But here's the game plan that's going on here. This is the back of the escape room. And I just met with the architects. This wall is going to come down. And they're going to take this wall down, and they're going to build from that corner to that corner. And all of this will be connected to that. I will remove TerraVisions, and TerraVisions will be for sale. Part of the space and the darkness will then become part of this. And then the other part will stay with the darkness. But it will also give me access to the gift store over there year round. That's what we're doing. But when it comes to picking themes for escape rooms, you know what I say? Pick the theme that, oh, look at this. The mini golf's got all kinds of, man, is anybody over here? sweeping this up? I don't think so. We need to get a full-blown vacuuming in here. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna have to tell my son to come over here and vacuum this mini golf like completely. But here's how you should pick themes. Do not, and I repeat, do not pick themes based on diversify. Like, oh, let's do an art gallery heist. Let's do a prison break. Let's do a mobster one. Let's do an Old West jail escape. Let's do, first off, those are so overused, so overdone. Let's do a virus. The whole planet's going to end if the virus isn't cured. Okay, look, we've seen a million of these. They're all over the place. If that's what screams to you, then do it. But here is the themes I think you should pick. You should do themes that you're excited about. And if they end up all being horror, they all end up being horror. If they're all like 1980s, then they're all 1980s. But if you pick themes that speak to you, that you get excited about doing, guess what? You're going to build the escape room a whole lot better. If you really have no interest in an art gallery heist, which I'm assuming nobody does because it's just overplayed, overrated, and kind of like, you can go to Myrtle Beach, and guess what? There's an escape room there with an art heist. You can go to any tourist town, and they'll have an escape room with an art heist game. That's just a fact. I would say it's probably the most popular theme. But if you're building an art heist theme and you really just don't give a crap about an art heist theme, you're probably not going to build a very good escape room. If you are passionate about art and you build an art heist theme, you're probably going to build the best art heist theme that's ever been done. Just see my point? So if you love horror, you're going to ultimately build like 8 escape rooms. Do you want to build 8 horror escape rooms? Well, why not? Who cares? Okay, my most popular escape room is Cellar. It's definitely horror. And we have added more horror to it. We just put in an animatronic, a scary animatronic with his legs and his arms cut off from Poison Props. People think it's freaking cool as hell. We just added it. Okay? Why not? It's bloody, it's gory, it's all kinds of stuff. It's the most popular escape room we have. You know what's crazy is the least popular escape room we have is the Frankenstein. People aren't into the classic horror, let's say, as much as I am. Okay? So I built it for a couple reasons. And here's the other reason when you're picking themes. Here's a tip on how to pick it. So when I built Frankenstein, it was during COVID. And I thought to myself, I have just about everything I would need to build the Frankenstein escape. Let's go over and take a look at it and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I had, from Jekyll and Hyde, the one that closed, I had one of those 2-headed guys. And I thought to myself, well, that's Igor. Okay, I called Unit 70 and got a Frankenstein monster, which that's a no-brainer, that's easy to get. Distortion sells Frankenstein monsters. I mean, it's probably not a super hard prop to get. I had, basically, in my mind, everything that I needed to do it. And so it was during COVID. And so when you're thinking about doing something fast and affordable when you can't even be open, in my mind, that was a really good theme to pick. We were able to use this vacuum formed stone. I thought to myself, it's his lab, so we could use these bathroom like type tiles as you can see, with the kind of the cobblestone look on the bottom. We added a lot of concrete. It was easy to build these doors. As you can see, if you look really close, there's concrete like everywhere on the door. Everywhere. Okay? Rust at the hinges. But this was really easy to do. This is actually the tile you would get from Home Depot. And the reason why it doesn't look like the fake tile, which it is because we cut pieces out and put in real tile and then filled it in with grout. That's what makes it look real. Okay? All of this taxidermy stuff, which I figured would be in a Frankenstein, we already had. This beautiful prop here from Ghost Ride, we kind of already had it. And I asked Ghost Ride to modify it with something that could hold, you know, a key so you can get into his body. It was a really easy escape room to do, quite honestly. Okay? It was not that difficult. And then, you know, look, I was thinking like, oh, we did the ceiling for the pirates. We could do it for here. Would have a nice castle look. And you know, the thing that really my crew laughed at me was when I wanted to use this vacuum form piece from Nethercraft. They said, that's a spaceship looking thing. I said, not when it's painted, it won't. And you can see it's kind of sealed in, and then we put this like, you know, thing in the center by cutting it out. And see, then we literally put this wood ring around it to hold it in. And it no longer looks alien. It looks like it belongs in here. And I like to keep everything symmetrical, so you can see there's one there and there's one there. And then you see this really cool fan. Like, I just had it. So I said, well, geez, you know, that looks real Frankenstein-ish. And then you can see over here, this is the Igor that I'm talking about. I mean, doesn't he look like Igor to you? At least that's what I was thinking. So when you're picking a theme, and pardon me, we have to go back to the dark. Let's run through the themes that I have. I have Frankenstein. I'm a huge fan of classic horror. In my Dracula escape, I also have the Wolfman in there, which is another popular theme to me. Another theme that I had was Mummy. Mummy, we replaced it with the Jurassic. But you know what? Let me tell you, that Mummy was super popular, and we had it for like 4 years. We just cycled it out for the Jurassic. But when I was building the Jurassic, I was thinking about stuff that could be used, like this vacuum form for Nethercraft. And you know how we improved it? By cutting this out and putting Lexan behind it and lighting it up. Now it no longer looks like vacuum form. So it's a little bit of vacuum form, a little bit of built out, a little bit of CNC, a little bit of vacuum form here with the cinder block. And you know how you make the cinder block look good, real? Is you really cover it up. Okay, heavily cover it, as you can see. Like a lot of the plaster would have washed off. And all of this electrical stuff, I was able to find this like all over the place. And these little weapons crates or whatever, I mean, we were able to find those in eBay. It was something that was really easy to do. I wanted to have a Jeep. We got a Jeep. We cut it in half. We moved it up here. You know, we wanted a T-Rex. We knew exactly who to call. We called Unit 70. They're amazing. It was very easy to do. This facade right here, we just had it sitting in storage with no idea what to do with it. It just screams Jurassic. You know, when we first picked this theme, the theme that I was going to do was King Kong. And I literally called Bo from Unit 70 and asked him if he could make a giant King Kong for me. And like the one at Universal's King Kong ride, that thing is so freaking cool. And I just wanted to know, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool we make it all jungly and do King Kong? And, you know, I started looking into who has the rights for King Kong. Could you make a... It's really sketchy on if King Kong is public domain or not. So it wasn't worth the risk because you couldn't get a clear answer. Is King Kong public domain? Yes or no? Very hard to determine if it is or it isn't. So with that being said, King Kong to Jurassic made a lot of sense. So when you think about it, Jurassic is kind of a horror movie, right? Because if you don't consider a dinosaur a monster when it runs around and eats people, I mean, yeah, it's a monster, you know? Is Jaws a horror movie? I mean, Jaws is running around destroying boats, killing people. You can say it's a horror movie. There's a lot of blood in it. So that's what we picked. I also think about themes like in things that people think are licensed, but they're public domain. One of the themes I was very interested in doing was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I just thought that would be really cool. I thought that would be something we could use a lot of CGI effects for to make it seem like you're underwater. To do Captain Nemo, that's public domain. You want to do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, that's public domain. You want to do Cinderella, public domain. You know what else is public domain now? Winnie the Pooh. Alice in Wonderland. But Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So I wanted to do something when I picked Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I wanted to do something that was a public domain. A lot of people said do Alice in Wonderland. I picked Wonderful Wizard of Oz. People think it's licensed. It's not. It's our own interpretation of the book, which is public domain. When you think about Jurassic Island, you know, Jurassic is not something that anyone can trademark. And so that's where the word island came from. Oh, you're trapped on Jurassic Island. That's where the theme came from. I thought it was kind of still horror because there is a man-eating velociraptor in there. There's actually two of them. And there's a man-eating T-Rex in there. So it's horror, but it's kind of sci-fi horror in a way. And so if you think about it, all of our escape rooms in one way or another are kind of tied to horror. Even our pirate is, you know, like a curse, you know? So it's, you know, it's like when you think of Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, they've got monsters in it, the Kraken, all kinds of sea creatures that are like, you know, chasing people and trying to kill them, capture them. It's mythical, you know, and it has horror elements to it, along with adventure and comedy. So everything here is pretty much like, I don't have a straight up theme like art heists and stuff like that. I wanted to do things that were interesting to me, okay? Our haunted mansion is like Disney's haunted mansion. So there is, I think you should just do the themes that appeal to you and to try to diversify it as much as possible. So if you love horror, find the derivatives of horror. And so our latest escape room is Alien, and we're gonna walk over here and we're gonna take a look at it. And you'll see, in my mind at least, Alien, the movie, which we're not copying, but Alien the movie is kind of sci-fi horror. So everything is, the point I'm trying to make is everything we're doing is kind of like, you know, in the horror realm. I don't have a straight 80s theme. But anyway, you can see we're CCing, and then eventually we're gonna cover in, and there's gonna be a roof on here, and then each section is gonna have a TV so you can see into outer space. And so right now we're trying to get all this themed in here. And check out these doors. Adam's in here working away. See the doors? Now that screams sci-fi, right? So the doors obviously will open. And then this is gonna be a 3-room escape. And then when you do escape, you'll escape through this door here. Because this room will only have one way in and one way out. So when they're in the last room, when this door opens, they basically have one. So if we go into this room, which we're also working on, you can see Adam over there trying to get the plexi, you know, the plexi or on the back of the door, which then it'll also be lit up. You can see we're trying to get it all framed in here as well. You can see the bottoms. Now this is going to have pipes and all kinds of stuff. Now one of the things, and you got an animation from Distortions over here, and you're also going to have animations in here from Unit 70, which are downstairs. But you'll also notice, and I know it's drawn on here somewhere, it's not on here, but we're going to be cutting this out as well and putting Lexan in here. And so there'll be things cut out, there'll be pipes going across, so the puzzles will be in here. We have some vacuum form that we're going to be putting in as well. So a vacuum form piece is going to go there, puzzles will go on that wall and this wall, and then these will be part of the puzzles, and then the ceiling will be puzzles, and then that'll just be vacuum form. And then as you can see, once again, we're framing. So like if I stick a piece of vacuum form in here right now, which trust me, I think this is the one that has the vacuum form. So you can see it's framed on top and bottom and sides. But yeah, here's what I was talking about. You see how there's a circle drawn here, so that'll be cut out. And then yeah, nothing's been done in here, as you can see. But we're getting there. You see on the wall we have to-do lists. We have lists of things that we need to buy. It's moving along, and we have some vacuum form up here as we need it. Not too much, just enough to get the job done. We have some really interesting animations that we're going to use. They're downstairs. We have some really fun props. Special effects that we're going to add is a CO2 cannon, spinning lights, all that. And the really cool part is we're going to program the floor. We're going to buy something for the floor that lights up. But first and foremost, we got to just build the escape room, right? So what is the process of building it really fast? Coming up with a script, coming up with a concept, maybe coming up with some drawings, and then frame it out. That's what we're doing right now. We're just framing it out. That's all we're doing. And then once it's framed out, it'll get painted. Then you'll start putting props in it. And then last, you'll put puzzles and program it. And that's where we're at. So we're hoping to have the Alien Escape done, I don't know, we're hoping October. There's no rush. You just got to get it done as fast as we can. Now, I want to tell you, this is just another video. We're trying to provide content. Don't forget to go to Haunt World and update your listing for your haunted house, or find your local haunted house at hauntworld.com. If you have a home haunt, you're more than welcome to list it as well. All these videos are brought to you by Fear Ticket. If you're selling a ticket, you want to use Fear Ticket /HiTix. But I can tell you, if you're trying to run an escape room, man, you know, having this arcade in here really, really helped get more business. And now, and look down here, having all this liquor and this alcohol, that is really a big deal as well. And I'll tell you something, business has been going down a little bit, and I've talked to a lot of escape room owners around the country, and they're all telling me their business is down 15, 20%. Well, we're having the same issues here. So one of the things that I've done is there's a group here that has a huge St. Louis Things to Do in St. Louis Instagram page. We hired them to do 3 videos on St. Louis Escape. We did one on come down here and play pinball and drink, one to come down here and play alcohol and drink, and then the other one was come play escape rooms and, you know, have some fun, play board games, play pinball, whatever. And so those videos are going to be coming out next week, and we're going to see what kind of impact influencers have. And then when I find out, I'm going to share it with you. Now, follow us on Instagram at Scarefest. If you want to follow our escape rooms, it's at St. Louis Escape. But here's the one thing, and we're going to make a video about this. The Darkness Haunted House on TikTok, we're at 900 and I want to say 47,000 TikTok followers. We're literally just a hair over 50,000 from 1 million. And I know for a lot of people, they would be like, well, 50,000 seems like a mile away because we don't even have 10,000. But once you get your TikTok page up and rolling and, and you've got like you've got it figured out and you're going in the right direction. Yeah, there's a lot of hit and miss, and probably more miss than hit. But once you have a formula, like, oh, maybe it's the 10th video, the 12th video is going to hit again, and we're going to get 50,000 more subscribers. I'm going to do a whole video on that to try to help all you guys out there grow your Instagram and your TikTok pages. And I'm going to tell you big news right now. We are going to add a feature to Fear Ticket that is going to help you grow your TikTok and your Instagram page. This is major news. And I can't tell you the details because I don't want any other ticketing company stealing the idea. But it's going to debut on Fear Ticket. And I believe that me alone using Fear Ticket is going to grow my Instagram by 15,000 new subscribers. So right now we're at 36. I think just from selling tickets alone, I could grow my Instagram by an additional 15 to 20,000 Instagram followers. And you're probably wondering, well, how in the hell are you going to do that? Well, you're just going to have to wait until the feature gets uploaded, and then you're going to hear all about it. But I can tell you that if you're still stuck on obsolete ticketing, like interactive ticketing, Ticket Leap, HauntPay, you need to switch to Fear Ticket now. Until then, like and subscribe to the page, and more coming soon right here from St. Louis Escape.